where are you guys? A couple things. As usual, Facebook's being a butt, and I'll fix it in post, right? So bear with it. I'm here with the very, very cool.
I'm going to sit like this the whole time just to mess with you.
Say hi.
Hi.
Tell people who you are. What have you been
Hello, my name is Lock Lynch. I help people do things and sometimes do things myself. Usually they're music-related things.
Yes. I've known this guy almost 10 years.
Too long. Yes. Yeah, about 10 years.
And,
Right?
and the cool, I probably said it before, the cool thing about us, what I do in photography and see, you do this with sound.
I try to. You're a fucking legend, motherfucker.
Well,
Like,
I'm older, that's why.
Yeah. just work with time applied equals legend status?
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah.
And then be in the right place at the right time.
There we go.
Yes, yes. But you actually, I mean, there's sound people, then there's technicians and designers, and we can waft some great additives, but you do. You actually hear more than what people can hear.
Yeah, well, so the thing is I don't. The thing is, at least the way that I like thinking about it,
Yes.
is that everyone hears all the things all the time, but they have learned through their existence that or their brain has learned to take the things that they listen to or that they receive through their ears and filter out all of the things they think are unnecessary information and only presents to their subconscious, only presents to their conscious brain like the parts that they think are important. I have trained myself to not do that anymore.
Yes.
And that part of it is hard and drives you fucking crazy. Am I allowed to swear?
It's Facebook.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. But yeah, like that's like there's a program called How to Listen. It's put up by a company called Harman. It's a very great thing. Anyone who wants to learn audio stuff, it's a free program. And just download Harman's How to Listen, and it's like they gamify the process of like retraining your brain how to hear things. And but that it's like everyone hears all of this stuff all the time. That's the auditory system evolved before your complex like visual systems. So that part of your brain, it thinks much faster. The difference between the left and right of your ears requires microsecond precision. You can hear left to right difference with interaural timing differences because your brain thinks that fast all the time. But consciously, people aren't aware of that, and that's okay. Like you don't need to be. Like if your job is to be an accountant, you know being overwhelmed by audio stuff all the time is too much. So
because I notice anytime I do, I see things. I'm talking to you, and I'm seeing an image. I'm seeing a scene. I'm seeing the way the light plays.
Yes.
Does that drive you crazy?
No. First of all, no, because my visual system is the last thing I engage.
Yes.
Like I'm looking at things to like make sure an object isn't going to kill me. But like other than that, like I don't care about color, I don't care about lighting, I don't care about anything.
I mean, in sound wise.
Yeah.
Because you hear things sooner than anybody else hears.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm consciously aware of things that I don't think other people are.
Yeah.
And in that, okay, so case in point,
We're a proof
bar
on the other side of Chinatown in the old Hotel Blaisdell, and it's really cool that they let me do this here and have my buddies. So you can do a shameless plug.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Okay, so you go into Hawaii Theater, come here for a drink. You go in someplace, come here for a drink. Come here after, and on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, they have amazing people playing on that little stage over there.
Yeah.
So it's cool. So yeah, so
let's talk about that. So this, what is the material on the floor? We have tile on the floor.
Yeah.
We have white drywall on walls. We have a flat ceiling. It's also drywall on the top. We have a lot of right angles everywhere, and there's not a lot of material. There's not a lot of fuzzy material as frictional absorbers. There's not a lot of different shaped things to be used as diffusion and diffraction. I guess diffraction is the visual term, but diffusion is the auditory version of diffraction.
Yeah.
And so because of that, like the whole place echoes a lot. And so when you get a lot of people in here talking all the time and bands going on, it sounds like the reflections happening in the inside of a refrigerator.
But
It's
to me,
hard to manage.
for you, but to me, it's warm and fuzzy here. It sounds great. We're talking now, and the reverb or whatever it is, and it's great.
It's the reverb that you get in like a bathroom. And in that case, it like adds a night, like it's very obvious, which means that in this particular case, for people who aren't trained to hear it, it has enough reflections to be like, oh, cool, they're in a live environment.
Yeah.
But to somebody who's trained themselves to hear that kind of thing all the time, it's like I have every person in the bar's face directly in front of me, to hear, and not understanding what they're saying, but like the tone of their voice, the clarity of who they are as a person emotionally. Like it's like everyone's face is punching me in the face all the time.
Now let me say 2 words, and don't laugh too hard. Maui Brewing Company.
Yes.
That's just horrible. Sorry guys.
That's the one in Waikiki?
Yeah.
Yes. So it's horrible for a few different reasons.
Yeah.
First of all, it's horrible because the point of their sound system is to sell beer and food, not to make it a stage for presentation of a performer, right?
Yeah.
And so they installed things. They have a Bose system.
Yes.
So for every different name of each different company in the audio space, everyone has a nickname for that thing, a mnemonic to remember everything about the company. JBL is my favorite. JBL is actually, they make great products. I'm not ribbing JBL at all, but the joke name for JBL, the acronym is Junk But Loud. But they're not actually junk, they're great. The Eons are great, they do some Bluetooth stuff that's great. Personally, I like EV, I don't remember what the EV one is, just because I like them so much. But Bose doesn't even use an acronym for it. It's so bad that they're just called got no highs, got no lows, must be Bose.
Oh!
Like, it's bad. Their install speakers are not designed to actually do anything important. And so Maui Brewing installed Bose everywhere. And so you turn it up to like a quarter volume and you start distorting all right. But that's a good thing in their case, because the whole point of the stage in that place is to bring musicians in who people will see on a flyer and say, oh, I like them, let's go eat and drink. And then you go there, and if the volume is too loud from the performer, then it's going to make the overall conversation volume turn up, and then everyone's going to be competing with each other, and that's what they don't want, and that's why they don't care that it sounds like shit if you turn it up.
Did you go to?
Is that rotating?
I said. Did you go to the old Jimmy Buffett's?
The one at Old Tower?
No, the one that was Maui Brewing Company before it was Maui Brewing.
Oh no, I'd never been.
It's amazing.
That space used to be
Jimmy Buffett's. Yeah, Margaritaville. It was just amazing. Everything was geared towards a band.
Yeah.
Everything. Todd used to run sound there, and it was just this amazing soundboard. This amazing stage. Everything was amazing. The bar it was beautiful.
That's cool. Of course, the Jimmy Buffett thing needs fucking good sound.
Yeah. And they had a lot of people going on that stuff like that. So when I worked at Capono, hi Henry, we opened it twice.
Hi Henry.
We did a soft opening, then a hard opening with Jimmy Buffett. It was crazy.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's legit. But it makes sense that somebody who comes to the music industry would be like, fuck yeah, of course sounds cool. But Maui Brewing is an eatery that also brews beer, that also just so like the last thought they have is the entertainment. And so of course if the volume gets too loud from a performer, people will not feel like they can eat there as a family. And so in that sense, it's perfect.
But
it's perfectly shitty.
But that's why I like this. That's how I like this place. It sounds great.
Yes. There's good reflections here. When I come to events here, I bring earplugs. Like, just first of all, because large dBSPL decibels, sound pressure level is how you measure the volume of something in the environment, acoustic pressure wave, whatever. It's high dBSPL because there's reflective surfaces everywhere, and it's usually punk bands being loud as fuck. Sometimes other lower volume bands play, and it's very nice. But it's loud, and it's if you're in here for like 5 hours, like you should bring hearing protection with you.
Yeah.
And that's the case with almost any venue these days. It's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. It's just that's what people want. They want to feel it, and the volume you need to feel it will hurt your ears permanently if you do that for 10 years or whatever.
Because when I was actively in the 80s doing that stuff, I'd be in the pit or on stage. And that's volume's different.
Yeah.
Once I got done, it was always earplugs forever.
Yeah.
Because the sound outside is crap, no matter what.
Yeah.
Like that, And I have great hearing still.
What?
I have a little ringing once in a while. That's because of Ted Nugent or Motorhead. God, I loved Motorhead. That was amazing. Before we knew what dyslexic it was, I remember going to see Motorhead in their first tour and walking out being totally normal.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and for like 3 or 4 years, I didn't listen to all that stuff, but that was fun.
Oh, I love that, dude.
Yeah. Wait. So, because actually, Locke was my very first guest.
Yeah. I forgot about that until I saw the picture, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. And then,
how long have you been doing this now? Like a year and a half or something?
Yeah, around there.
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah.
Stoked. I'm so stoked that you've been continuing to do this.
Because the reason why, because during a pandemic, I didn't see anybody.
Yeah.
And then what better is get a couple of beers, hang out at a bar, and have a conversation.
Yep.
Doesn't matter where it goes.
Nice.
And mostly it falls by
well, in that case, that's it.
Well, it doesn't. It's like we don't. Who cares about politics? Let Eon, what's his name, decide that whatever. And then
that can have somewhere else.
Yeah, but it's music. Because I think everybody knows it's the biggest common denominator. It's like most music is great.
Yeah, I definitely attest to the idea that 90% of everything is crap. I can't remember if it's called Sturgeon's Law or Poe's Law. No, Poe's Law is the extreme parity and extreme belief in a thing are indistinguishable from each other. I think it's Sturgeon's Law of the 90% of everything is crap. There's the 80-20 rule. That's another one, but somewhat semi-related, tangentially related, whatever. But every genre of music has examples of people doing it well and examples of people doing it poorly. And then that whole thing aside, there's also the concept of like there's always going to be an audience for certain kinds of things.
Yes.
And the people directly adjacent to that audience are going to hate it. So my example of that for myself personally is pop music. Just pop rap, pop country, pop everything. Yeah. I'm not a fan of pop because in my mind, the point of pop is to you imagine a bunch of sliders. So you have a slider. So in photography, so you have if you're working on something in post in photography, you have a slider for brightness, you have a slider for saturation, sharpness, whatever. You have all these dimensions. Right? So in music, it's the same kind of thing. You have a slider for fast versus slow. You have a slider for exciting versus simple, or complex versus simple, or whatever. And pop music, somebody who's producing a pop song is thinking about those sliders by saying, where can I make the middle of all of those sliders to properly reflect the point and message of the person who's writing the song, but also make it palatable to the largest audience. And in my mind, that's fucking dumb, dude. I don't want to make it palatable for the largest audience, because that just means you're only doing the safest thing imaginable. And it's commercial. They're just making the money. That's all they're doing. They just find the latest good-looking whatever. Used to be the guys with the good hairstyles. The Pat Boones and all that stuff like that. Now it's just hot chicks. Hot young chicks. You can make it online.
And they can wiggle whatever. Exactly. But because I was always on the fringe. Absolutely. You want something dangerous, but not dangerous, but something original.
Yes.
Yes.
Or authentic.
Authentic, and that's why I never sold out. I mean, right during the
you made a living out of not selling out. You fucking glorious bastard. That's fucking cool.
There was a time, 1989. I'm really getting tired of everything, and I get to my office, the magazine office, and there's a note. Call Rolling Stone. They want to see you in New York. I'm like, fuck that shit.
These fucking posers.
Because Matthew Ralston was walking away, and they had to have some. But I'm not going to. I'm a rock photographer. right? I want this, you know.
Yes.
I don't want to
Yes.
like go find Bon Jovi, find a horse, you know. I don't do that shit.
Yeah. Fuck
It
yeah.
has to be real.
Yes.
You know? And I always try to keep it real. I look at photographs all the day. I'm going through whatever someone's feeding, all of a sudden, oh yeah, something I never knew of. Just look at this stuff, young, old, whatever, and you can tell if it's authentic.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
We have there's an unwritten law about people who photograph concerts. You have concert photographers, it's like, I got the badge, look at me. Then you have rock photographers who have access. They're with the band, they're doing this stuff, they're back, they find the moments, they're on stage, but they're doing the moment, the interaction. It's not like the guy with the microphone, it's like the whole experience. You're making a moment, not just like I'm at a concert.
Yes.
You know?
You said something a while ago that I always think about, and it's related, I guess, to my live sound engineering. And it's part of the reason why I hate live sound engineering. It's that if you, as a rock photographer, if you do your job correctly, you disappear.
The ninja claws.
Yes.
Yes.
The ninja claws.
Yes.
Like, and as a live sound engineer, it's the same thing. If I do my job correctly, I'm not there.
Yeah.
And like, there's a part of that I enjoy, but like, I'm a fucking studio engineer, dude. I'm a studio engineer and a fucking music producer.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, like, I'm not satisfied unless I have the ability to like stop the band and be like, that didn't feel right.
Yeah.
Like, fix that.
Yeah.
And
No, exactly. It's a two different animals.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why you don't hear like these big producers going on the road and stuff like that.
Exactly.
You know?
Right?
Yeah.
Like, fucking Rick Rubin doesn't do live sound to the bands he
No,
works with.
or all the major other people like that. You know, it's
Shout out to
like,
Rick Rubin, he's the best. I'm reading his book right now. It's very great.
what was that? Hey, Stone. You know Stone Jones?
Do I probably
He used to
do.
be here a long time ago. He's over there someplace. He's funny as hell. He cut it. Ice Stone. He cut his finger, and he like all about Facebook Live how he fixed his finger. And then he does his whole pot kind of in 150 proof rum or whatever. You get the that's crazy.
Ooh,
Yeah.
what the fuck? That's
Cool.
wild,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah. So how the hell you
You still have your
been?
finger.
How have you been?
Good.
And it's good to see you.
Thanks. Yeah, I was gone for a little while.
Yeah, we're all kind of worried about you.
Yeah.
It is the best rumor. The best rumor.
There is a rumor.
Yeah, the best rumor is like, hey, Lock's on tour with Mike Love.
Shout out to Sam Eitz. Shout out to Lee from Hawaiian Brian's.
Lee Anderson.
Yes.
I see Glenn all the time in Home Depot.
Shout out to Glenn too.
Yeah.
Glenn's holding it down, dude.
Yeah.
Holding it down.
Yeah.
Having said those things, there is no way in hell I will ever work with Mother. So
that was the rumor. So that was one of them. The other one, you were hiding from an ex-girlfriend who's about to kill you.
I literally, so part of what started, so I like holed up and just got away from everything and everyone for like a year.
You have to cleanse yourself once in a while.
Yeah, I do. And that was, so I started writing again. The whole reason I got into engineering to begin with was because I'm a musician and I'm a lyricist and I'm a writer. And, but I spent 10 years or so learning the part of the craft that I knew could be an element that I wanted to learn, and then spent a decade making a career out of helping other people do those things that I wanted to do. Yeah. And
like Ray Wilson, or was it Steve Wilson? Steve Wilson. Steve Wilson is a producer. There's two guys, Ray Wilson, Steve Wilson. Ray Wilson actually was the last singer for Genesis before they broke up. Amazing voice. And Steve Wilson is in a band. I forgot what band he was in, but he does these great classic rock remixes.
Fuck yeah.
Like Chicago's second album, whatever. It's always like the Steve Wilson mix. Yeah, and he's a musician. He does all this stuff, so it's really kind of cool. I'm getting chicken skin just thinking about that because that's what you said. You know
That's why I became an engineer.
And then there's a guy from Butch Fisher.
Oh yes, fucking thick, dude. I mean,
because that's what it was. Because he did his band.
Yeah.
With Wisconsin someplace, right? Madison. I forgot the band.
I can't remember. He's Foo Fighters producer, right?
No, before that.
Okay, but now he's doing. Okay.
Yeah, because
that's where I know him from.
He did Nevermind.
He did Nevermind?
He did Nevermind.
He did Nevermind.
And then the next...
and Steve Albini did In Utero.
Yes,
okay,
and the next album he did was Smashing Pumpkins' Sammy's Dreams.
fucking cool.
And then he
Who
did Garbage.
Melancholy. Oh, he did Garbage too?
He's in Garbage. He's a drummer in Garbage.
He's the fucking drummer in Garbage. Oh, that's cool. Fuck yeah, Butch Vig.
This is why
Drummers and bassists make the best producers.
just about.
And keyboard players, I guess.
Well, the drunk Irish guys in the 70s. But the thing was, he had that whole thing. You know, it was great because he had the thing you don't know what he wants. And Nevermind was amazing. I mean, I didn't like it at first.
Wait,
but
did
then,
you say he doesn't know what he wants?
No, he never works for you twice, supposedly.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
That's fucked up.
No, but Butch had a band, and then actually the backing band for Garbage. They're from Madison, Wisconsin, or whatever they was fucked out. He's a cheesehead.
That's cool.
Yeah. But I thought you'd like that.
That's a sports thing, right? Cheesehead. That's a lacrosse thing.
No, anybody
right?
from Wisconsin. Wisconsin. Is that right, guys? Wisconsin is a cheesehead.
Yes. Yeah.
No, but that's commendable because a lot of people spit like Alan Parsons.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
He's engineering and stuff like that. All of a sudden he did iRobot stuff and I Am the Whatever.
He did iRobot too?
That's him.
Whoa.
That's his, yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I know the Alan Parsons. Probably obviously Dark Side of the Moon.
But that was he was the second engineer at Abbey Road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fucking
Dude, we're geeking. I love geeking out, and people who understand how to geek out. This guy geeks out.
Dude, okay. I'm trying not to throw myself under the bus here. Oh my gosh, I always forget his name.
What does he do?
He's the best engineer of all time. He did Frank Sinatra. He did Schmidt, Al Schmidt.
Okay,
So,
let's move for my time.
Al Schmidt, he was one of the first. I mean, like, dude, the recording engineering, like, technology and profession, recording audio is only about 100 years old.
Yes.
Like, there's only a few generations of people who do
and
this.
photography is 120 years old, something like that.
Yeah, it's a relatively new, lineage of people, right? So, Al Schmidt is one of the number one, if not the number one, most awarded Grammy award-winning engineer of all time. I fucking met him and his son and his grandson at NAMM in 2020.
Wow.
And oh my god, it's hilarious. Okay, it's a great story. Let's take a minute. It's fucking great. So, this is the story of meeting Al Schmidt and also my favorite personal engineer. His name is Chad Blake. Shout out to Chad Blake. I apologize. Also, shout out to Sean Mosley for introducing me to Chad Blake's concepts and stuff. I'm at NAMM, National Academy of Music Manufacturers, and something like I can't remember if that's the acronym. It's big. It's
It's a huge club to in Anaheim.
A bunch of fucking nerds
and
get together.
People selling this, people selling that, and
exactly.
Yeah.
All I did was get drunk with all the like boutique microphone manufacturers. Yeah. Mwah. Beautiful. Recommend it to anybody. So I'm standing in line to get a burger right before Al Schmidt is doing a talk.
Yeah.
So Sylvia Massey was also fucking amazing.
Cool.
Yes.
And green jello.
Yeah, and
That's all I know.
Toxicity too. She did stuff with System of Down, I think, too.
Yes.
Anyway, yeah. She records on like an old, abandoned nuclear energy silo fucking thing. So much cool shit. Sylvia Massey's the fucking best. So, anyway, Sylvia Massey's giving a talk. After Sylvia Massey's done, then Al Schmidt's giving a talk. And so we're going to catch the end of Sylvia Massey's talk, and then we're going to go to Al Schmidt's talk. But before all that, we're like standing in line to get burgers. And we're like at this burger kiosk, whatever, and like we just strike up a conversation with the people standing next to us. It's like these two dudes, and we talk for like a good 30 minutes, whatever, right? Just having fun, talking to them about fucking nerd shit, whatever. And then after a while, it quiets down, and we're like, oh yeah, how did you guys get here? Why are you here? And they're like, oh, we're Schmitz. And we went, what? And they were like, yeah, I'm Al Schmidt's son, and this is Al Schmidt's grandson. And we went, oh my god, we're gonna go see your dad's giving a talk instead of, oh my god.
Fanboy.
Yeah, we fangirled out on it. Like, that's how fucking excited we were. And yeah, we got to fucking meet his son and grandson. And they were the coolest motherfuckers ever. And they were like, yeah, heck yeah, come to the talk. And then at the end of it, like, everyone can eat shit. You guys get a picture without shit. So we show up to this talk, and it's already filled because Sylvie Massey's the best as well.
Yeah.
It's already filled, and so we're standing on like the very edge of the thing, right? Like Sylvie Massey's up here giving a talk, talking about like layering kicks and cool techniques and all this important fucking nerd shit. And we're like way in the back, watching stuff, right? Sylvie Massey finishes her stuff. Fucking Al Schmidt comes on, talks about all of his cool stuff. It's all about fixing everything as much as you can up front, right? Like if the musician's bad, to tell them to go practice or get a new musician. If the thing sounds wrong, move the mic. If you've moved the mic or selected a new mic, then only then add an EQ. If you can't get that right at that point, don't reach for a compressor. Tell the fucking musician to play it better. Like, it's all about everything up front.
Yeah.
Make those decisions then.
Yeah.
Get them there.
Yeah.
So,
Like, I don't crop anything.
exactly. Get it in the right, in the shot.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's where you can capture the authenticity.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Yeah, and so much of his talks about it. So, amazing.
And then,
very cool.
I don't know, they had those little thingies. That's all I had back then.
Yeah. Even before that, they didn't even have faders. That was Tom Dowd invented the fucking linear fader.
Wow.
Like, there was a whole point during the Beatles recordings when it was just knobs. It was just rotation knobs. And then somebody came up with a knob that had a notch in it so that you could know where the middle was. And then they came up with linear faders.
Yeah.
And Tom Dowd used to be a fucking physicist and engineer on
dominoes.
on the fucking Manhattan Project, and he retired from the Manhattan Project to go do audio engineering shit.
Wow.
Yeah, and Tom Dowd, another great producer, another great engineer, talked a lot about really cool things with capturing the moment of musicians in a room. Anyway, so end of Al Schmidt's talk. There's like a photo shoot opportunity, right? And there's like 200 fucking nerds at this place.
Yeah.
So I'm not getting in the way of any of these dudes. I'm like, yeah, they said we could go take a picture with them, but like we're way in the back. I'm not gonna bother anybody. And then Al Schmidt's son, like a fucking glorious angel or devil of some kind, gets up on stage and goes, "Hey, where are those two young engineers that wanted to take a picture?" And like from the back of the room, we're like, "Oh yeah, that's us." Yeah. And like everyone, it's just nothing but grumpy faces as we're like, "Oh, excuse me." Like, we're gonna go take a picture with the fucking best dude ever. So we get up to the front, and there's like a group of people taking a picture with Al at that point. And like everything is so chaotic that like they just straight up tell my friend at the time, Chris, he's still my friend, but my person who I was with at the time, they're just like, fuck it, just get in the picture with these guys. So this random band has a picture of them with just some random person also hugging them, like it's whatever. And then after that they leave, and I walk up to Al and introduce myself. And, before I walk up to Al, this is the best part. So, this happens over like a minute, like a single minute. I'm about to go take a picture with the best engineer of all time. And then I turn to my right, and I'm like, "Are you fucking Chad Blake?" And this guy, Chad Blake is one of my favorite engineers of all time. He's the guy that pioneered the concepts of reamping, of like taking a microphone and recording it, and then taking that and then feeding it back into an amp and re-recording it and like creating extra tone and stuff. Yeah. I fucking love that shit so much. And Chad Blake, the person standing directly to my right, is the guy that fucking did all of that. And so I turn to Chad Blake while I'm waiting for Al Schmidt to be done taking a photo. And I go, "Are you fucking Chad Blake?" And he goes, yeah, kid, but not right now. I gotta go talk to Al. And I'm like, "Oh, cool. But I just gotta tell you, I fucking love your shit so much. It's like the coolest stuff ever. It's like totally the best. Oh my god, it's so great." And then Al Schmidt's son's like, "Hey, where's that fucking kid?" And I go, "Oh, excuse me, Chad Blake." And I go and I fucking walk over and talk to Al Schmidt and fucking tell it. And he's like, "Oh, what do you do?" And I was like, "Oh, I actually just..." Al Schmidt is very famous for recording full orchestras with like small amounts of mics and all this kind of stuff. And so I should tell Al, I was like, "Oh, I recorded my first orchestra the other day." And he's like, "Oh, how'd it go?" And I went, "Oh, it was dog shit." because they wanted, it was all about camera angles. I only had a few mics, so I like did as much as I could. But I couldn't explain anything to that to him because we were in the middle of a photo shoot. So I basically, all I got in was like, "Oh, it was dog shit." And Al went, "Oh, okay. And then we took a photo, and then he left. And I turned back to talk to Chad Blake. He was just fucking staring daggers at me the whole time. So I got to alienate both of my main fucking mentors and inspirations within a fucking minute.
Take no prisoner.
So anyway.
Because
So,
a lot of the
that
people,
happened.
there's like a couple of photographers out there still growl at me. It's like, fuck you guys. So I moved to Hawaii, big girls. So I don't have to do you guys. I got my rock stars here.
No.
I mean, I gave him as a gift. I haven't seen him. I gave him as a gift this photograph, and it's
It's a photo of me with some actual fucking rock stars.
and it's so cool. See, it's Locke with Tavana and Dave Ederle and Keith Batlin.
Yeah.
And then those guys are making waves everywhere.
Fuck yeah, they are.
I kind of wish Keith had a good manager. I wish Dave had a personal life coach, and I wish I wish Tavana never gave up his fucking Roland drum set. Sorry, Tavana.
We can always get him another one. It's fine.
Because you kind of missed the whole Jabari Lapaka routine.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, the three of them were doing a thing?
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Towards
Was it
the-
amazing?
Okay, they didn't know what was happening. So I told it was like one of those guest artists, and Lapaka was doing a thing, and then they were like look at each other, and I was like, okay, here's it is, right? This boy went to school for this shit.
Labaka?
No, Jabari.
Okay, yes.
In Toronto.
I mean, they both went to school for
Yeah,
that shit.
but I mean, just to be saxophone and bass and keyboard
yeah.
and like that. I know they all went to school, and so I'm going like, you have one guy who's classically trained, two street thugs. What are you guys going to do? And I said, instead of like panning shit out, your first song should be a jam, and that will dictate what the plan's going. And don't always, And the third show was amazing because all of a sudden they understand how to play off each other.
That's fucking cool.
And then what happened is, Al Smith, they stopped promoting the shows, and we had big crowds at one time.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, we were there, the Hawaiian Brian's kind of thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, and they
awesome.
weren't promoted. All of a sudden, there was like 10 people in the crowd, and Glenn goes, I can't do this anymore.
Well,
But it was amazing because you have, no matter what happens, Lapaka's always there painting rainbows over everything. And Tavana is
wait, like how low was that? One more time. Sorry, I got you.
No, and then Jabari could do anything, Yeah. And then it was amazing how that worked out.
Fucking man.
He's doing a lot of shit now too. A lot more jazz.
Good. I'm glad he's doing.
Yeah.
Last time I saw him. I've seen him a couple of times. I went to go to the movie The Room. Have you heard of this movie? No. It's like it's touted as like the worst movie ever made.
Oh, cool.
But they have like midnight showings, like Rocky Horror Picture Show style midnight showings.
Yeah.
And it's all this audience participation stuff and all that. It's like a cathartic experience. Like as a maker of art, my big issue with myself is like I want it to be perfect, and anytime it's not exactly perfect, I think it's the worst thing in the world. And like so, I went to this movie showing of like a movie that's legitimately very bad, and I'm like, all right, like my shit's not this bad, it's fine. And like Steve Wiseau, shout out to Steve Wiseau. Like he put that movie out, and like it became a cult classic because it's a cathartic experience for people to understand. Like it's okay to put out shit you don't like.
And what's the movie called again?
The Room.
The Room.
Oh, hello! You're my favorite customer. Oh, hi, doggy. I did not hit her. I did not.
It came to a point.
I saw Jabari recently there, and but before that, I helped him restructure the sound system at the church that he was doing. He was the worship music leader at or whatever and everything. And dude, like he's the fucking man.
Yeah.
Jabari's cool as fuck.
Yeah.
And every time I see him, I'm always really stoked.
I'm
glad he's doing
more
more jazz.
Yes.
Like, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I think he might still be teaching. I'm
I
stoked.
haven't talked to him, but I see him once in a
Whatever
while.
he's doing, I'm stoked.
For me, it's like in the middle of the 80s, I realized doing a magazine with my best friend, it's like, and we started stressing over everything. It's like, hold on, no one knows the difference.
Yeah.
You put it out, they're going to love it no matter what.
Yeah.
You know, as long as you think it's kosher, you think it's good, right there, it's good.
Yep.
And then That's what I do now. I'll come to a point on an image. That's good. That's right. Next.
Yeah.
Because no one's going to know the difference. No one's going to turn around and say, and the music's different because you can criticize the fuck out of that shit.
Yeah, but you're always able to criticize the music.
Yeah.
So at that point, like, you shouldn't care.
Yeah.
Because even if it's perfect to you,
Yeah.
you're going to put it out and someone's going to fucking put a comment on it that's like, I threw up in my mouth listening to this.
Yeah.
And like,
But I mean true criticism, like that trombone shouldn't be that loud in the mix. It should be.
yeah. So even
Because
that, at that point,
yeah.
it depends. Because, like, is the trombone supposed to be the center of attention at that point?
At that point.
And if so, then fuck you. That's actually where I wanted the trombone. Or if not, then you know what? You're right. But you know what? Fuck you. Now it is the fucking center of attention right now. And so now what was mid-ground material is now foreground material. That's whatever.
I'm just lucky that most people like what I put out.
Dude, I have actually received that almost my whole career, but I wasn't able to believe it until recently.
You're not supposed to
Yeah.
for a long time because you have that. Okay. Hi kids, it's about drive. There's a thing in you that makes you go no matter what. You can be dead tired. I mean, going to concerts, getting gigs, and just be dead tired. You put some NyQuil on or whatever, and you're just going to shoot no matter what. You're feverish, but it's called the drive. You have to accomplish this somehow. And I don't give a shit. I mean, you may be, well, if you're bleeding.
Yeah, if you have like internal organ, if you're vomiting blood, go to the hospital. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, but
don't die.
But there's a thing called
drink a lot of water.
And you know, I still have that drive. I have to stay up past 1 o'clock because I don't want to lose that
get it right.
thing.
Yep.
Yeah, and just the principles. You push yourself, and part of art people don't understand. You have to push yourself.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's not like you're reaching something to forget. It's something you can attain. Or you can find this happy ground, and I'll put something on the wall and go, okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
And then I'll take crappy cell phone photographs, and I think they're amazing.
They're the best.
Yeah, you slap
because they have authenticity to them.
It's in the moment.
Yes.
And that's so much important.
Yep. I'd rather have something that objectively, engineeringly sounds like fucking garbage. I'd rather have something that's got way too high of a noise floor and it's crunchy as fuck and super weird and gnarly.
Yeah.
But there's this spirit to it. There's this thing of this. Yeah, I hate the word je ne sais quoi because you can define these things. But there's this je ne sais quoi of all of the elements aside from like objectively a clean fucking whatever.
Okay, ready for this?
Yes.
You may not know this, but Brian Eno's Baby's on Fire.
Cool. Yeah.
Have you heard it?
Somewhat familiar. I know Brian Eno, and that sounds like a familiar thing.
Well, because Brian was in Roxy Music.
Okay.
And he was an art student like the whole thing. And he was the one that really brought synthesizers to the forefront. It's like 71, 72. Before Keith Emerson.
This is before Silver Apples? Or Music Concrete? This is not before.
Yeah. It's way, yeah. And what happens?
It wasn't in the late 1800s.
And then what happens? He gets kind of boots in the band, and he does a couple of solo projects, and then he gets with Robert Fripp, and they do tape loops.
Cool.
So Robert Fripp's going, and he's doing the tape loops, like 5 or 6 machines, and they do it. It's crazy. And then fast forward a couple years later, U2 needs help.
That's when he gets involved with them.
U2 Baby.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's crazy. Because he's a musician and an engineer and everything else.
Yeah.
I think he actually did the first Devo album.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's cool as fuck.
You know, a bunch of weird shit like that.
Dude.
And the other one is like Todd Rundgren, who like...
I'm not even familiar with that name. Wait, I'm writing this down. I don't even know who that is, dude. Todd Grun... How do you spell his name?
Rundgren, Rungdure or something like that.
Shit, sorry. 1 second. Todd, you said?
Yeah, Todd Rundgren, Rug... Yeah, DREN or something like that.
Okay. I'm
Yeah,
looking this
that's
up.
fine.
I'm looking this up later.
Yeah.
Why did you go to the top?
supposed
Thing.
Yeah.
Good enough for jazz.
So he's in a band called the Navs, and then he gets into producing the first New York Dolls album, Grand Funk Railroad. It's a whole
oh shit,
Meatloaf actually, the first
he did
Meatloaf.
Fucking Meatloaf.
Yeah, I think he did the first Meatloaf album.
That's cool.
And then he has a band called Utopia. It's all like really. It's like
I've heard that.
He's like before anything before. Kind of thing. But then what happens?
That's cool.
Everything takes 2 years off, and everybody's passing around.
Yeah.
Kind of like Slayer. Slayer was they take 2 years off, and they were like advocating for catch up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they were still around. They made it back, right?
Yeah.
Like,
And then Slayer is coming back. They're playing 2 shows. Hellfest. So this is. I always look at photographs. I'll be online also and see a photographer. I'll like, okay, let's look at this. Or someone has a clip on Twitter and like, oh, look at this guy. Do you always listen to shit?
No. Oh, sorry. What was your question?
No.
I don't. And this is where the fact that I got into engineering and production, because I am an artist, and I was tamping down my own sense of being an artist. I was like shutting that part of myself off for the past decade because I thought that because I wanted to learn the engineering and production side of it as best as I could.
Yes.
And so recently I have come to terms with the fact that the reason I understood and learned those things is because I'm an artist.
Yes.
And so now I'm writing, and actually now my writing and making my own music part, it feels like church. And I'm a fucking huge anti-theist. But using the idea of saying it feels like church to me is such a powerful statement that it's hard not to use that terminology.
Yeah.
So that feels very therapeutic to me. And that's what I love doing. And now, like, I can write, like, so many, my artist friends, I'll show them something I've written, and I'm like, and they're like, this is fucking amazing. And I'm like, oh, I'm glad you like it. I wrote that in 6 hours. And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah. Like, I had no idea what I was doing, and I wrote the song, and I made the music, and then I mixed it and mastered it, recorded it, mixed it, mastered it, edited it down, made sure it sounded good, and it was done in 6 hours. And they were like, dude, you 6 hours to fucking make this? And I'm like, yeah, I've been fucking spending a decade learning how to fucking do all this shit like this for you.
Yeah.
You don't think it's gonna be fucking cake for me when I fucking do it for my own shit? And they were like, oh my god.
Exactly.
But and like they were like, oh my god, in a good way. I'm just a little drunk.
And I have to actually think, because you did that Underground series, and then one with Christy Brooke. Hello, Christy.
Fuck
You
yeah.
need to sit here. I've been trying to get her, but that
I'm
was
texting her right now.
that was so cool.
Yeah,
And I didn't know it was Sneaker Pimps or Secret Women.
yes, Secret Pimps. Yeah,
And
yeah.
then I had
Six Underground by Secret
I
Pimps.
had to go like, oh yeah, cool.
I actually, oh my gosh. So I made a song. Do you know who the Dead Milkmen are?
Yeah, it's a very old band.
I fucking love the Dead Milkmen.
Yeah.
Dead Milkmen and King Missile are two of my favorite bands of all time.
Detachable Penis.
Yes, Detachable Penis.
I actually saw those fuckers once back in like 1990 or
I
whatever.
fucking love them so much.
Yeah.
But have you heard the song?
I left it at a party, and my friend was like,
And then I was walking down the street in New York, and I saw my penis there lying on a blanket, and he was selling it. And I asked him how much it was, and I bought it and attached it and put it back on.
and they put Detachable Penis. That is it. That was the same time Beck came out with a loser.
Yeah. Yep.
So crap like that was all over LA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that
Yeah.
shit.
Just before it dun 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 dun.
Yep. That style of I'll text Christy Brooke later about something. But that style of like acid rock, experimental, sideways, alternative shit.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
So Dead Milkmen have a song called "You'll Dance to Anything," and it was so when they were in the midst of doing their career, that's when like the dance club scene started getting big in the '80s and everything, right? And so they made a dance song called "You'll Dance to Anything," and it's literally them just like harping on people in dance clubs. And all of the DJs in dance clubs, it's like the worst fucking song you've ever heard.
Yeah.
Shitty production, shitty everything, because it's the Dead Milkmen and they're fucking doing it tongue-in-cheek. Tongue through the cheek. It's so tongue-in-cheek. And they released this song, and all the DJs played it all the time to troll their own audiences, so it became a popular dance club fucking song.
Wow.
So my homage to them and my own spirit of doing that, I have a song called Don't Listen to This. And it's up on Wave Lake. I have a Spotify. I have some of my own shit on Spotify. But the stuff I put out when I'm like working on a thing and I'm like, I'm ready to release this. I release singles on Wave Lake. Wavelake.com/vapid/Vulpus. Vapid Vulpus is my artist name. Shameless plug. Here we go. Vapid, 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 hyphen Vulpus, VULPES.
We'll put links on the comments section.
Thank you. But I just released another song today, actually. Ooh. Maybe yesterday. Fuck, I don't know. I was very drunk when I released it, so whatever. May I get another double vodka? Thank you. The one I released now is part of a musical that I'm writing, but the one I released a little while ago, ironically enough, okay, so there's a few songs on, I have like 8 songs, I think, on my Wave Lake right now, and a couple of them, it's like so I've gotten really involved with Web3 and tech stuff and blockchain shit, because I have a lot of friends involved with that. I'm trying to get into project management for my friends in that world, because all of the skills I've learned with managing musicians and projects, musicians and stuff are outdoor cats.
Yep.
Tech bros are indoor cats. They're both. If you tell them to do something, they're not going to do it. But an outdoor cat will also be very, they'll go out and talk to people and everything. But the tech bros won't listen to anything you say and will also stay inside all day. It's literally, it's the same shit, but it's all about.
That has to be the coolest thing ever.
It's that project management with tech bros is like it's still dealing with people with oppositional defiance disorder, which I have too. Fucking, if you tell me to do something, I'm going to do the opposite immediately. Thank you very much. But yeah, so it's more about setting up the environment so that they feel inspired on their own. But you have to do it for introverted people as opposed to extroverted people. And that's it. I mean, that's not it, but that's the modality I'm using right now. Anyway, all that shit aside, I released a song. I released a few songs on WaveLab, and WaveLab is a Bitcoin-based blockchain tipping process. So when you tip somebody, you get tipped in Bitcoin. You get tipped in Satoshi, which is like a 10 millionth of a Bitcoin. So I have like 4,000 fucking Satoshi, which is like $2. It's not a lot, but you keep 90% of your shit, as opposed to Spotify, where you get like whole tiny amounts. You get a tiny amount up front, and you also get a tiny amount pulled out every time any part of the transaction happens. So fuck all that shit. I have a few songs that have gotten up to about 2,000 Satoshi, so about $1. And then I released this song, Don't Listen to This. And somebody heard it and was like, this is fucking hilarious. I'm doubling the amount of money that you have. Like, everyone can eat shit. I love this song. And this song is called Don't Listen to This. It's literally an homage to the fact that no one's going to listen to the music I write. And I shout out Christy Brooke in the song, and I sent it to Christy Brooke, and she finally listened to it. And like in all caps, she was like, oh my god, this song is great. This is hilarious, man. So, yeah, fuck.
If you guys don't know, she's a Disney kid. She was like High School Musical 45 or whatever like that. And she's from here, from Castle Heights. She's really, really cool. And she sings great.
She's literally... maybe we can link the video of her singing that I have on YouTube or something. Yes. It's so good. It's in the song that I wrote, I literally talk about the fact that it's literally one of my favorite things I've ever recorded. Like, I love Six Underground. It's one of my favorite songs of all time. And the cover that we did, I usually hate everything I do. I think what I do is dog shit and fucking vomit. It's bad. But that one song, I still, when I hear the original, it makes me want to listen to my own song that I have. I've never experienced.
And he did this like one take thing upstairs. It was all one take.
And it's no overdub.
And that's what I do. I love that shit. I'm one of those guys that just like, Okay, and then just to equal that conversation, I photographed the last photograph before my my first gallery show with Kamawala, and we had like a window of time because he played at Nico's, and he had to pick his kids up. So he had like 45 minutes to do everything. And the old Ward Center parking lot, beautiful gray, one fluorescent light overhead, and no flash, no nothing. And I got into Photoshop. I didn't do any adjusting. Everything was perfect. I'm going like,
I'll fucking drink to that, dude.
Finally, after 60 years. Yeah, it was great.
I finally got it right.
Because there's so much you want something to present to the world. You want something dynamic, something big. But it could also be like, God Save the Queen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does this. I like that. I like that metaphor.
Yeah. Because epic doesn't have to be a huge epic. It could be a 3-minute or 2-minute crashing kind of thing. To come at that from another perspective, but I think says the same thing. I also write. I write short stories, and I write other than lyrics. I also write prose. Where do you have time?
I don't. I only have like 8 short stories, or less than that. I don't fucking know. But one of my favorite writers is Philip K. Dick. I love science fiction and fantasy and stuff. So Philip K. Dick is one of my favorite authors. I love his short stories. I like writing short stories. In one of his short story anthologies called Paycheck, there is a foreword, and somebody says in this foreword, "Look, if you want a science fiction story about like the grandiosity of human experience throughout time in the universe, read Asimov. If you want a story that takes the grandiosity, and I'm paraphrasing on this at this point, the grandiosity of the story of a broken down robot discarded in a ditch, read Philip K. Dick." And in that sense, it's the grandiosity, the fucking chutzpah, like the thing that's cool about a photo, the thing that's loud and big in a thing, isn't necessarily like what we would consider automatically epic. Like you could take a photo of like a single fucking rock somewhere, but if you frame it right and you put the right context in it, that can be epic as fuck.
Yeah.
And that's what Philip K. Dick makes the small things that we would consider insignificant fucking epic as shit.
Yeah.
And that's what I love. I want to make the small things as loud as the big things are.
You probably know, there's a guy a long time ago called Edward Weston.
Okay.
And Edward, that was his thing. It was like Edward Weston and Enceladus. But he would photograph a bell pepper.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, and then the tones are perfect. Or he'd photograph a toilet seat.
Nice.
And
that's cool. That's cool as fuck.
It's like 1920, 1930 kind of thing. Then he would put 2 knowledge shells together. And nowadays, these are standards for classics.
That's
because then he also went out in north like Arizona or New Mexico, big landscapes. But it's the smallness, the closest.
Yeah.
Because you put it up, bang it up, make it search. It has to be pitch perfect.
Yeah.
The tones have to be there.
Of course.
It has to be sharpened. Yep. And then there it is.
Yep. I just had a thing with that with one of the songs. I have a song. It's on my Wave Lab. It's called Modern Monotony. It's one of my favorite songs I ever wrote.
Wave Lab.
But the song, I played it for one of my friends, and in this particular song, there's a bass line, there's a piano, there's a synth line, there's like a whole stack of vocals, but there's no pad, there's no accoutrement. It's literally just like the foundation. It's like drums, bass, a lead, counterpoint, and some vocals. There's nothing else to it. It's like LCD Sound System meets fucking Modest Mouse, and that's it. Period. End of thing. And I played the version that I thought was correct for a friend of mine who is a dancer, and he goes to raves all the time and all this kind of stuff. And but he's not a producer. And his response was, "Wow, this is really cool, but like you could add this, you could add this, you could add this, you could add this."
Yikes.
And like, yeah, yikes for sure. I mean, my first response was, fuck you. But then I didn't say anything. I stopped and I thought to myself, what's making him feel like this? I like the fact that it's only got these elements.
Yeah.
But he's saying this thing that makes me understand, oh, he feels like he's missing something.
Ooh.
Cool. That's not a problem. Let me remix the thing so that the elements that I hear as like, listen to this now, and then pull it out of the way and listen to this instead, and then listen to this, and then listen to this, whatever, right? So I don't need to add material. I need to remix the material I have already so that it's presented and then supported by the track in a way that reflects what I hear. And I fucking did that, and I played it for him again, and he was like, wow, you added all this cool shit to it. But I didn't add anything. I just recontextualized the thing.
And that's what music does.
Yeah.
With that, I mean, I don't want to talk about movies or TV, but music can do that.
Yeah.
Because a long time ago, it's all you had. You know?
Yep.
And then even a long time ago, that's all you had.
That's
time ago, all you had.
We got
And it's always been kind of like
yeah.
the background kind of isms or whatever.
Music gets to the core of the human experience way faster
Yes.
and way faster and way
In 2
more
minutes
to
and
the
50
heart.
seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In less than 30 milliseconds.
Yeah.
It's literally
Yeah.
your brain processing that the processes sound happens as almost instantaneously as possible.
Yes.
Part of the reason why evolutionarily is because your eyes are used to assess big issues,
Yes.
but your ears are used to assess immediate issues. Like, that's literally what we've evolved to do. So it's evolved to do that, and it's also evolved to hear communication while you're hunting, which is why we have a peep in the range that humans have consonant sounds in, because that's the place in the frequency range of human hearing that people use to delineate meaning between vocalizations. Nerd shit we use it for language, but we also use it for listening to our environment.
Can we call you professor now?
No, not until I get an honorary degree from some fucking place.
John Hart, we need an honorary degree.
No. I'm not that cool yet. Yes.
Oh yeah, I always say that. No matter what I've done, I don't give a shit the past, whatever. I can be on stage, whatever, or over here, or back. I'm not that cool yet.
Dude, you know what? Okay, first of all, I understand what you mean.
Yeah.
Second of all, fuck you, motherfucker. You've been on stage with some cool ass motherfuckers. You've done so much cool shit. Like, I can't. If I get it, but like, dude, at some point. Respect the fact that
I'll be like 75. I'll live in Paris.
Dude.
I'll be 75 living in Paris, and I'll have like okay,
like Camus, just living life.
Yeah.
You know, playing soccer and smoking cigarettes.
Going down to the little cafes and your fez on or whatever, your beret, and like going, okay, and then like grabbing your tripod and like maybe catch it. I don't get sunsets over there. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
It's a whole.
What time do you have?
Let's check here. Thank you. I'm not sneaking, babe. 5:30.
Okay, good. How you doing?
Good. I need to take a piss and smoke some nicotine.
Okay, cool. Anyway, this has been amazing. I love this guy. He's amazing.
Okay.
Hold on. Come on. Okay. How can they get? Okay, well, we'll put links on the comments.
Sure, I'll send you some links.
Yeah, and then how can they get a hold of you?
Okay.
Are you actually being hired for sound engineer or engineering?
I literally have a session after this at 7.
Yes.
So
as usual.
But yeah, so so I'm slowly making my way back into the world of music production. I'm restructuring my website. I'm restructuring the whole concept of the studio. The studio is now, like, there's a friend of mine that wants to do lessons, like drum lessons. I am done with rehearsal space. I love all of you. There's fucking rehearsal rooms.
5.
Stop breaking my shit.
4.
But okay, so
I have to take one too.
Yeah, it's nice. I'll put some links.
Wait. Hi, Linda. Guess who's here?
Hi, Linda. You're the best. Thank you so much for being so cool.
I love you. Love you, man.
Love you. I love you too, man. Thank you for this. Seriously.
We're at Proof, other side of Chinatown. Show up. This will be fixed and
Go
posed.
get wrecked. It's
All
great.
right. Aloha.